Ladies and gentlemen, enterprises are leading in transforming the education sectors with its new education programs and making students industry ready. Now, I would like to invite Mona Bhardwaj, Global University Programs Leader India, IBM India, to speak on transformation of the industry and skills needed. Mona Bhardwaj currently heads the Global University Programs at IBM India. A seasoned professional with over 25 years of experience in the IT industry, Mona is passionate about working with students in bridging the industry-academia skill gap, promoting technology that helps solve real client problems and people management. An engineer of electronics and communication graduating from RVCE Bangalore, she has done varied roles, including that of running a startup in the electromechanical space. In her current role, she is responsible for employer branding and technology evangelization of initiatives at universities. These initiatives range from technology adoption through IBM Academic Initiative, improved curriculum for institutes across India through IBM Skills Academy, running hackathons and remote mentorship projects for experiential learning, cool technology demos, webinars for improved employability, and fostering innovation through shared university grants. Please welcome Mona Bhardwaj.
Hi, a very good day to one and all. It is my pleasure indeed to be addressing all of you. And I would have really loved to be there in person for this as it has been in the previous years. Today, I would like to focus on the transformation of the industry and the skills needed. Also, the transformation that the skills needed has gone through to be able to have a better future for all our students. Gone are the days when people watched just one television channel on black and white television sets. Many of you may actually remember the Doordarshan logo that we used to see and the tune that it went with it. We usually had one television, if at all, a single landline telephone in our houses. And most of us are from the generation where we saw our dads or parents have one single job throughout their careers. Many of you may also remember all the wonderful brands that existed at that time. Some of them being the HMT watches, Bajaj scooter, the Dynora television, Nokia mobiles, Rajdoot bikes, and so on and so forth. All of them had some really, really good quality. I don't know if you know that in 1998, there were about 170,000 employees who were working in the Kodak company. And they used to sell 85% of the world's photo paper. But in a few years, digital photography came by and drove them out of the market. Kodak went bankrupt at that time, and all their employees were out of job. So whatever happened with all these wonderful brands like Kodak, HMT watches, Bajaj, Dynora, and so on and so forth? My friends, the reason is that they were out of market because they did not change over time. This is such an important thing today. Such is the case with any industry that does not accept changes and transform. Change is needed more in today's context because the pace at which the society is changing is pushing the industry to cope. And that in turn is pushing education institutes to transform as well, and which is why I think all of you are here. Until a few years ago, companies taught or conditioned employees to operate in alignment with their business model in a structured, process-oriented manner. There was top-down decision-making, organization of work into defined tasks. There were job descriptions with set responsibilities. Essentially, everything was fixed and also static. So the usage of fixed teams was also a lot during that time, and that taught employees a certain set of skills that came to life best in that company's culture. Until the digital era, clarity of the mission had been best communicated, structured, and executed in a stable environment that was not experiencing constant change. But changes in society happened, and that imposed a need to speed things up and to have more ways of addressing the changing needs of the customers, and also very quickly. It led to the advent of what we know is the digital era. The digital era introduced the need for more business and new skills, new ways of working, and also a more flexible culture. Remote working, always on access, transparency in work, less hierarchy, even pop up teams operating across functional and organizational boundaries, and organizations operating within an ecosystem of partners all required a culture of agility, and in turn, a new set of skills for the workforce. Not surprisingly, different management styles also came into being, ones that encourage a more agile work environment that included autonomous decision making, more experimentation, peer to peer coaching, and flexible team structures. Essentially, cultures and organizational competencies needed to shift in a way that they would reflect these new ways of working. So, this was about historically how industry and the skills transformed and evolved. But what does the scenario look like today? Executives are now tasked with continuous innovation and succeeding in this constantly evolving landscape. Not easy, is it? They also recognize that navigating it requires individuals who communicate effectively, apply problem solving skills, apply critical thinking skills, and drive innovation using new technologies, and draw and act on insights from vast amounts of data. It also calls for a lot of creativity, empathy, and ability to change course quickly, and a propensity to learn and seek out personal growth. The future of work is also expected to be more and more transparent, flat, on demand, and competitive. I'll repeat, there will be these four traits of the future of work, that is transparent, flat, on demand, and competitive. Transparent is pretty clear, but when we say flat, it means less hierarchy, which also means more and more decision making at each level. On demand would be because teams will come up and get dismantled based on the needs of the project. And competitive because the whole world will be the hiring ground for an employer. Can you even imagine how exciting that can get? So we have the onus of making students ready for that future of work, which is going to be very transparent, flat, on demand, and competitive. On the other hand, if we look at India's economy, it is expected to grow at a very fast pace. Rapid industrialization would require a workforce of around 250 million by 2030, as the reports say. As of 2021, India annually produces 1 million engineering graduates. India's technical education infrastructure includes 3,500 engineering colleges, 3,400 polytechnics, and 200 schools of planning and architecture. Today, over 35% of India's population is below the age of 20. Putting all of this together, it is not difficult to tell that India could potentially emerge as a global supplier of skilled manpower. Also looking at the report, which is called Jobs of Tomorrow by the World Economic Forum, which says that demand for both digital and human factors is driving growth in the professions of the future. They have predicted that 7 key professional clusters would emerge in tandem. And these 7 are data and AI, engineering, cloud computing, people and culture, product development, marketing, and sales and content. So on one hand, these reflect adoption of new technologies, giving rise to greater demand for roles in data and AI economy, as well as new roles in engineering, cloud computing, and product development. On the other hand, emerging professions also reflect continuing importance of human interaction in the new economy, giving rise to greater demand for care economy jobs, roles in marketing, sales, and content production, as well as roles at the forefront of people and culture. Needless to say that for India to provide the workforce that the world is looking for, skills are of great importance today. And this is a wise quote that I read recently. Without sharpening your weapon, standing on the battlefield would not increase your chances of winning. Today, skills are the weapons that we have to protect ourselves from vast uncertainties that the future may have. Key technology skills, supplemented with skills of good decision making, negotiation skills, strategic thinking, problem solving, good communication, creating visibility and networking, create a distinguished combination for an accomplished career. To top it all, following this quote from Confucius really helps. Choose a job you love, and you will never have to work a day in your life. Very meaningful, isn't it? So there are many ways to help students enhance their skills, which is really needed today. One needs to focus on experiential learning through opportunities like hackathons. Did you know that Mahatma Gandhi actually announced a design competition way back in 1929? Unimaginable, isn't it? Not only this, but he also announced 1 lakh rupees as the prize money. This happened when he wanted to encourage people to take up the spinning wheel. And he was looking for engineers who could come up with a machine that would take in as input raw cotton and produce yarn as output. He also laid down elaborate conditions for the same, just like how we have with hackathons today. He recognized what technology could do. Maybe he was even ahead of his times. And he may have been the original sponsor of a hack to design a better charkha or the spinning wheel. So needless to say, students stand to gain a lot by just participating in hackathons. I would urge each of you to encourage students to go more towards experiential learning. And one of the ways is by participating in hackathons. For academic institutes, working hand in hand with the industry is one of the key ways of making students better skilled and hence future ready. IBM and many other companies have very interesting, useful offerings for academic institutes, which each of you should look to use and help your students use better. It is of key significance that institutes grab the opportunity to get courses, project work, or mentorship from the industry to make students ready for a better tomorrow, because the future really belongs to those who are ready for it. Thank you so much. It was wonderful talking to each of you.
Thank you, Mona.